Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm going to say a few words and then turn this over to Torii. We took Torii in the first round back in 1993 as the 20th pick in the draft. He was 6'1", 200 then. He's 6'2", 220 now, or 210, 215, somewhere in there, but he's held his weight pretty well. Mike Ruth, Mike Radcliffe, and Larry Corrigan were responsible for bringing him into the organization. At the time, Mike Radcliffe told Andy MacPhail, our GM, that there was no risk signing this 17-year-old outfielder. Well, about 5 years later, there was a little risk because he hadn't progressed through that system quite as quickly as we thought maybe. Katrina's in the room here. Congratulations to Katrina. She's getting her husband back. I'm going to celebrate your, right there, Katrina. You're going to celebrate your 19th anniversary later this month. I see that. Darius, Torii, and Money, their 3 children, are out playing football, so they're not in attendance. Torii spent 97 through 2015 in the major leagues, or parts of 20 seasons. He's got 16 years and 132 days. Early, it was a bit of a struggle as a player, but his personality and his approach was not. That smile came easily. He played for all kinds of our affiliates, all kinds of minor league managers, all kinds of coaches, all kinds of trainers. He played for Tom Kelly, Ron Gardenhire, and Paul Molitor for the Twins, Mike Scioscia with the Angels, Jim Leland, Brad Ausmus with the Tigers, some fantastic managerial names there. He played some with big names, close friends. Corey Koski, Jock Jones, Shannon Stewart, David Price, Michael Kadire, Zach Greinke, Brad Radke, Max Scherzer, Eddie Guardado, Vladdy Guerrero, A.J. Pierzynski, Johan Santana, Mike Trout, Justin Morneau, Albert Pujols, Joe Mauer, Miguel Cabrera, David Ortiz, Justin Verlander, big names. And I suspect every one of those guys will tell you that Torii made them better. In 1994, by design, we lockered him in between Dave Winfield and Kirby Puckett in spring training. We thought quite highly of him at that time, obviously, when you put him right between those two guys. In 20 years, you probably have never heard a bad word about Torii, except from Danny Baez, the pitcher that Torii threw the ball at, and maybe Jamie Burke, the guy he destroyed at home plate. And ironically, Torii went to the Angels and played for the Angels, and Jamie Burke was a coach. They're friends now. If you want a stand-up guy, you're looking at him right here. Hustle, heart, accountable, media-friendly, makes others better, gracious in defeat. All the definitions of a leader in the clubhouse and on the field. Not only on the field, community service recognition. He's won the Carl Pohlad Award, the Branch Rickey Award, Marvin Miller Award. His charities, the Twins Rookie and RBI programs, Reviving Baseball in the Inner City, the Torii Hunter Project, Impact Youths in Need, Big Brothers and Sisters, Hunters Homies, Boys and Girls Clubs, Make-A-Wish, Prostate Cancer, and so on. On the field, 9-time Gold Glover, played in 5 All-Star games, 2 Silver Sluggers, helped his teams to postseason 8 times, received the MVP votes in 8 different years, a .531 winning percentage as a player. He hit 25 home runs plus in 5 times, 90 RBIs 8 times, and he played in over 140 games or more 11 times. That's durability and production. He's a winner, a leader, and I'm thrilled that he came back in 2015 to play for this organization. He led us back, got back to respectability this year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Torii, and he can address you.
This is tough for me. Never been in this situation. When you're younger, you think you can play baseball forever. You know, it's a kid's game, but you know, us grown-ups, we're kids at heart. I want to thank Mauer and Morneau, my two youngsters that I really crushed. And thank those guys for coming out, man. I just saw you guys right there, and Morneau, you was unexpected, man. I love that brother right there, you know. And he's one of my kids. He's not a kid; he's grown now. Koski's here, Tom Kelly. Who else? And but I think about a lot of things, and I was up at 4 o'clock this morning, and just kind of trying to jot down all the thank yous and everybody that I can possibly think of. But you can't get everybody because everybody played a part, in me playing this game for so long and have a little bit of success, and so that a lot of people played the key parts in my career. When I think about that, it takes me back to a scripture, iron sharpens iron, as another man sharpens another. And I started to think about my granddad, when I was about 8, 9 years old. He passed on, but, my mom was working. She was a school teacher, and she was always gone. And, and she teached it was about 45 minutes she drove, and it took her a while to get home. So I would go to my grandparents' house, and my granddad would always watch the Cubs, WGN. And I couldn't stand, every time he walked in, he's watching the Cubs. I'm like, put the football game on or something. But he would make me sit down and sit on that couch and watch the Cubs. And, I didn't like it at first, but over time, there's a guy by the name of Andre Dawson. And I'm watching him play, and he's hitting these home runs and kept hitting these home runs, and he ended up with 49 home runs, and he got MVP. And I think he gave him a blank, just told him, fill it out. Whatever you want to pay me, pay me. And I really respected that guy. He had a curl. I had the curl. And I really wanted to be like Andre Dawson. I hit like him. I wanted to be like him. I threw like him. I tried to do everything like him. But my granddad, just was teaching me a craft. I had no idea that he was doing that, but he made me sit down and watch this game. And next thing you know, he just kind of put it in me. And I said, you know what, I want to play baseball. After about a year of watching the Cubs that year and Andre Dawson, hitting those home runs, I decided to go play baseball at 9 or 10 years old, and it went on from there. So my granddad had taught me a craft, and you talk about iron sharpening iron. He did that. You think about, all the people I've had in my career. First of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, for giving me the opportunity to play this game, opening up this door, and I just had to walk through it. He kept me healthy, kept me sane, protected me out there, and, with so many bad things that can happen, being in the spotlight. He's protected me, and he allowed me to go through some things. That's the only way I was going to get it. Trust me, all of us, we were young, we were all stubborn a little bit, and then you go through something, and that's when you realize, like, hey, I got to get better. I got to make the adjustment. So, my wife, thank you for just being there for my kids, raising my kids. I know I was out there trying to provide. The way I provided was it caused me to go out and travel and be away from family. And you raise those boys, and whip them in shape. You punish them when they need to be punished. You help them with their work. You drove them to school every day. And you're my foundation. And without you, I wouldn't have any success. So I thank you for everything. And now I'm coming home to you, and maybe we can go to that beach we wanted to and lay out nude. To my family, my brothers, Torii Hunter Twins, my mom and dad. My mom always took us to practice, and without her, taking me to practice, sacrificing her time and sacrificing, her money, sacrifice everything just for us to play this game of baseball, and without her, I wouldn't be here. My agent, Larry Reynolds in Reynolds Sports Management, this guy had me since I was 17 years old. I don't think he stole money from me. but I'm pretty sure, he's like a big brother of mine, and he's helped me along the way, and I thank him for all his support and guidance. I want to thank the Polad family and the Twins staff. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent your organization the way it's supposed to be represented. The Twin staff, Terry Ryan. Terry, you're the man. You had me for a long time. Minor leagues, he would pick me up in a cart and say, jump on, get on. And I would jump on that cart and he'd just ride around while everybody else is running. I'm like, man, this is nice. I don't have to do anything. But no, he was killing me. He was like, Torii, you got to do this. It's going to be hard. You got to keep focused. You got to stay focused, keep fighting, keep grinding, just keep making adjustments. He was always there for me through thick and thin, whether I got sent down, whether I got, anything that I was going through. Rough times, Terry, right there. And he's still doing it to this day. And he brought me back to finish my career here, whether it was going to be this year or next year. It happened to be this year, and I really appreciate him. And I love him. He's a good friend. Not only my boss, he's a good friend. So thank you for everything you've imparted to me as well. Mike Ruth, my scout that drafted me, thank him for coming to the ghetto and not getting scared and picking me up. Larry Corrigan, I want to thank him. He whipped me into shape a lot. Jim Rance, he's here today. He looks the same as he did 20 years ago. Where is he? Jim Rance, thank you for always being there as well through the minor league system. It wasn't always easy, but you were always there just to help me and guide me. Iron sharpen iron. To my managers, Tom Kelly, man, we didn't always see eye to eye, and I was young. But I tell you what, this guy's taught me so much. I never knew 10 years later that I'd be saying things and, having antics and, chastening guys just like he did me, and he whipped me into shape, and he saw the potential in me, and he just dug deep down to get that out of me. And I thank Tom Kelly for all the things that he's done for me. And to this day, I still talk guys, and I will teach them, hey, go to right field, be a professional, anything, don't miss signs, hit the cutoff man, throw it low is good, high is not good with Tom Kelly. If you missed that cutoff man, you was in trouble. So, TK, thank you for doing all those things and being my dad away from home. Appreciate it. I had Ron Gardenhire. I want to thank him as well, and for kind of taking over for TK and pushing us. And we were TK's group, but Ron Gardenhire was the overseer, and he did a great job. I went on to the Angels and had Mike Soch, a very, very intelligent man. Learned a lot from him. Jim Leland, funny. Had him, and he's been around the game 15 years. Had a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and so I was happy to, to accumulate some stuff from him. And Brad Osmus, 2014. When I hit my first home run, Brad Osmus was a catcher. That's when I said, all right, it's time for me to retire. Paul Molitor, special man. He taught me some things that prolonged my career, without the things that he's taught me. I might not want to say what he's taught me because other teams would know that he's teaching them as well. But he's taught me a lot, and trust me. And the 2 years I had a chance to play with him and in spring training a lot in the big leagues, and he was always telling me things and giving me advice and giving me understanding. And just to come back, and play for him, it was an honor. When I saw he got the job last year, I said, man, I got to come back and play with Molly. And he's not only a good friend, He's a really good player, great player, very knowledgeable, very fruitful. You know, everything that he's learned, he's given it back to me. And everything I've learned, I've given it back to many other players. So, Paul Molitor, I want to thank you for being that iron that sharpened me. Thank you. My coach is Jerry White. I gave J-Dub my second Gold Glove. It was awesome. You know, the first day I came in spring training, not in spring training, but I signed in '93, July 15th. And I came in, I had my shorts on and a T-shirt, and he said, "Hey, grab your glove." Took me straight to the outfield. From the plane to the outfield, 17 years old. My birthday was 3 days later. And Jerry White has been a part of my life for a long time, so he wasn't able to make it here, but I got to tell you, he was very inspirational. Run Gardner, Al Newman. Is Al here? No? Al Newman. He was my manager in the minor leagues. He did a great job, imparted me, showed me how to be a professional, chasing me just like everybody else. Iron sharpens iron. Bill Springman, Scotty Olger, Steve Little, and my other coach, Wayne Hadaway. Wayne Hadaway, if you guys don't know, is like the mascot for the Twins. And this guy will say some crazy things, man. But he's been with me since I was a youngster, and he's came up to the big leagues, and he's been in the big leagues with me, and he's still with me to this day. He called me yesterday, and he's in Alabama, hoping the Tide will win. But I definitely think Wayne has played a big part. You know, sometimes he had to console me, and sometimes he told me I really suck. So he told me I was going to AAA several times, but he was awesome. I got some ex-players and former players and some that have passed on. Kirby Puckett, you know, watching him carry himself on a day-to-day basis, you know, you have no choice but to be infected, you know, and he had a great smile. The way he moved about the room, and the way he, you know, treated people, everybody the same, whether it's the vendor, the I don't care who it was. He treated everybody the same, and that's something that I watch as a youngster. So I kind of remember me being a youngster watching this veteran player, and you try to remember that as you get older, and knowing that these guys are watching you. So you have to carry yourself as a professional and do it the right way. So, you know, Kirby, I know you're looking down, and I want to thank you for being that iron that I needed in my life. Man, Matt Lawton, very inspirational, man. Even though he left, and still to this day, he called me and said, "Hey, your shoulder dipping out. You're doing this. Go to Texas. Move to Texas. No state taxes." and he, you know, Matt Lawton was always there, man. And whether I went to a different team or it was here, he was always calling and checking on me and making sure I do the things that I needed to do to be successful. So thank you, Matt Lawton. Harmon Killebrew. He was very, very inspirational in my life. He played a part as well. I mean, I catch myself talking to Mike Trout, Howie Kendrick, Morneau, all these guys. Hey, make sure you hit every letter. You know, 150 years from now, when you're dead and gone, a little kid's playing in the field, and boom, they hit the ball into a big field of weeds, and they can't find the ball. Then they find one that says just the T ... and the H ... And they say, hey, you won't be able to read it. Hey, we found another ball. Let's play with it. But let's reverse that. They hit in the weeds, and they're looking for the ball, and they look up and they say TORIIHUNTER. You know what? He's gonna Google that name, look it up, and say, wow, this guy was pretty special. Let me put it on a mantle. So I tell Trout that. I told Austin Jackson, Justin Morneau, all these guys, you know, that I've had in my career. Matt Carpenter, hit every letter. Make sure people know who you are. Just don't give them no scribble scrabble. And that's what Harmon Killebrew told me, and I was able to be fruitful and give it back, something that he taught me. And Tony Oliva, Never understood what he said, but I knew he was coming from the right place. And Tony Oliva, I want to thank you as well for imparting my career, catching me as a youngster as well. A couple brothers in baseball, Jock Jones, Corey Koski, LaTroy Hawkins, Eddie Godado, and David Ortiz. That core group that I had in 2002, it's like we got so close that we can't break this bond. When Jock retired, we all were sad. LaTroy's retiring this year, we all were sad. And Eddie retired, we were sad. But we always keep in touch. We always do things together. And so those are my brothers in baseball. Corey Koski, he's always texting me. He's always trying to get me to give him followers on Twitter. So thank you, man, for always being there. And you talk about iron sharpening iron. Those guys have done that for me. Friend is someone that can tell you the truth. A friend is not someone that just tell you what you want to hear. These guys never told me what I wanted to hear. They'll tell me if I'm right. They'll tell me if I'm wrong. They'll tell me my breath stinks. They were always straight up, and I really appreciate those guys for being great friends. I left for 7 years, and I went on my 7-year hiatus. And I thank the Angels organization for adopting me and making me a part of their family. I had a great time out there. Artie Moreno, thank you. Tim Meade, thank you for everything. The Tigers organization, Mr. Illich, and the Tiger family, I appreciate you guys for bringing me in. But most of all, I'd like to thank this Twins community, the Twins fans, for coming out day in and day out, win or lose, rain, sleet, or snow. Well, in the Dome, it was a lot of 70 degrees and no rain. And I want to thank the fans for always being there, whether I was doing well or whether I was, I sucked. And I thank those guys for all their support, all that energy, the adrenaline, and that's what kept me going on a day-to-day basis, just to hear the fans scream, Torii, Torii, or whatever it may be, that pumps me up and elevates me, and my adrenaline gets to going, and then I almost pass out because it's so much adrenaline. And those guys, the fans make the team. The fans make the players. And I really thank them for all the support, all the love the Twins fans are giving me throughout my years. And you know what? I'm going to miss that. There's nowhere in this world that you're going to get that kind of elevation. You're going to get that kind of feeling. Me and Tom Kelly was talking about that earlier before I came up here, just talking about the competitive edge. You're going to miss that. The fans, you're going to miss those guys. The travel, you might not, but the fans, you're going to miss those guys because they bring that energy every day. And that's what kept me going. So with that, I just thank everybody that I forgot. I might not have forgotten you. I just couldn't sit up here all day and just think about everybody. But everybody that played a part in my life, you guys are true. Iron sharpens iron. And that's what I'm doing to this day. I'm that iron trying to sharpen other guys. And I really appreciate it, and I thank you for everything.
Torii, I think I speak for this whole room, and we say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for us. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank
With
you.
that, I'm going to open it up to questions. Charlie.
Charlie Walters, St. Paul Pioneer Press. Torii, you had this remarkable, wonderful career. Had you not played baseball, do you ever wonder what you would have done?
A go-go dancer. You know what? All I know is baseball. And when you're trying to focus on a dream, you have the dream. All of us have dreams, but you have to go out and get it done and focus on the task at hand to make that dream a reality. And so I definitely think I wouldn't have wanted to do anything else but play this game of baseball. And throughout this game of baseball, I've learned so much of how to be a man and how to be a businessman. You know, you have so many men, you know, you guys might think that we just play baseball. We sit on the field and all we do is think baseball. We're sitting in that clubhouse and think about companies and business and we think about marriage and how to be better husbands and you know, different things like that. And so just learning so much in this game, you know, I wouldn't take it back for nothing. I have no regrets. I've learned so much. And so I can't see myself doing anything else but baseball.
Sid Hartman.
I've known you for a long time, and I want
know.
to thank you for the writers of Minneapolis and St. Paul for all being available and not ducking when you had a bad day. And you always, I want to thank you from day one I met you. You've been great to me, but the big thing is you've been great to all the writers, all the broadcasters, all the people. You're a class act.
Thank you. Wow. Thanks, Sid. Thanks, Sid. Sid, as you all know, has been, man, my biggest supporter. You know, when Sid was around, I always had time for him. He's been awesome. He's always on my side. He might tell me I suck every once in a while, just like Wayne Hathaway did. But I really want to say thank you for everything that you've imparted in me as well, and being my biggest supporter. You know, in the media, sometimes we need that because the pen is mightier than the sword. So I definitely thank you for being there and protecting me.
Jim.
Torii, how was this different at the end of this season for you to make your decision to walk away? Could you share a little of the process, the thought process? Because the numbers say you can keep going.
You know what? Just the last 2 years, I've been sore. You know, I've been fighting through some soreness, you know, and just every day getting out of bed, take that first step, and my wife has to push me out of bed. You know, I mean, I just felt like it was time, you know, and I could get up. It took me 2 hours to get warmed up, an hour and a half to get warmed up just to stretch. So, you know, you take that in accountability. Also, just my family, man. You know, just I travel so much. I missed out on so many things, and I just want to be there. I was watching my son's first game this year. It's like, man, I want to be there. And when you know, I know this is my job, you know, and I have to be the provider. I'm the man, you know, and I have to provide for my family, and I do whatever it takes. And but it's a point in time where it's all right. This is enough. I never thought I'd get to this point this soon. I'm 40. It's time. And so my family, you know, just the soreness. I don't think I had injuries. I was just sore, and it took me a longer time to recover. Paul, you know, he actually saw that and gave me some days off. I argued with him, but not too much. And so I knew it was time. I mean, 2 years ago, I was thinking about it, and I played 2 extra years when I thought about retiring. When you start thinking about retiring, and your mind goes, and the body will go as well. And so it was just time. I started bringing it up in my conversations. You know, I might be retiring. You know, this and that. You start talking about that, it's time.
Hey, Torii, Pete Rhodes with BMA Networks. I want to thank you first and foremost. My job is trying to promote images in our communities, and you've been a stalwart image in these communities that we serve. For all the young guys out there who take a look and see what they need to do and all the other things that they see, they get a chance to see something special and how they should be and pattern after. So thank you so very much for that.
Thank you.
And being that you've been around the game a while and you've been around some of the greatest coaches, some of the greatest players, is the career really over, or are you coming back to coach?
Wow, I knew that question was gonna come up. You know what? Baseball is in my blood. You know, I definitely think I'm not walking away, and I'm not just retiring. Did I say I retired? I said I was real tired. I'm just transitioning, you know, and yeah, I might be taking some time off and really just focus on today. You know, tomorrow has its own problems, own things, and you know, in the near future, I'm definitely going to be in baseball, some way, some fashion, some form, and don't know what it's going to be. Just going to kick back, like I said, my wife and I, and go travel, watch some baseball, and maybe get a chance to go to a new beach.
Brian Murphy with the Pioneer Press over here, Torii.
Yes.
20, 30 years from now, when you're really on the rocking chair and maybe really taking it all in as a retiree,
I'm going to be fit. Trust me. Still playing basketball.
do you think there'll be a particular game, at bat, maybe interaction that'll stand out the most over the 17 years you played?
Oh, man. I would have to say a particular season. You know, and everybody knows 2002, special. I mean, you talk about a team that came up together and we fought together. We took beatings together. We've learned a lot in the game. And that 2002 team, that's something that it always stuck with me. Whenever I'm giving an example to the young guys, I talk about 2002 and what we did and the bond we had and to prove everybody wrong. We were supposed to be up for contraction, and everybody called us the best team in best AAA team in baseball, which was an insult. And all of us would get on the phone, David Ortiz, Doug McCavish, Corey Koski, Jock. We all get on the phone and talk about it in the off season. Say, hey, let's prove everybody wrong. Let's show them that we're the best. We were supposed to get dispersed in some kind of mock draft and dispersed all the players. And so we were thinking, like, this is our last time playing together. Let's go out there and play with all our heart. So we had a chip on our shoulders. That's probably why I threw the ball back at the pitcher. And so we played with attitude. We played it to try to prove the haters wrong. And we went out there and fought. And, made my first All-Star appearance and had a great moment there, robbing one of the best hitters in the game, the best hitter in the game, Barry Bonds. And then going on to the ALCS and winning that division and going to the ALCS and playing the Angels, who beat us, Game 6? I don't know. I forgot. But I definitely think that 2002 is a moment that I'll never forget. The friendships that I've had in that clubhouse, the bond, the chemistry, that we built in that clubhouse. You can't get that in too many places. And so it's something that I'll never forget. And so 2002, I can see myself 50 years from now, not 20, 50 years from now in my rocking chair then and thinking about 2002.
Dave.
Torii, Dave Campbell, Associated Press. What's your favorite memory of this past season of coming back here that you're most proud of? Or?
Just, you know what? All the young guys. This is probably the youngest team that I played with since I was young, and it was some work, just trying to impart in some of those guys and get them to understand and believe in Molitor's way, and so it was some work. We had to put in some work this year, and just to see those guys grow, and have a chance to go and to get into the playoffs. And we had shares meetings and stuff like that. And they was like, wow, this is fun, just to see these guys grow and get excited about winning and getting that winning attitude, that winning mentality. I was excited. I was excited to see Dozier and Plouffe argue with the umpires, because they really want to succeed. And they felt like, they were taking it away from her. I was excited to see those guys with fire and breaking up double plays and different things like that, because those are winning ways. It's the only way you can win is have the fire and the passion for the game. And I saw that those last couple months. And so, yeah, I take that, this year, just to see those guys grow, those youngsters learn a lot. And, the number one thing, though, is the dance parties. The dance parties got pretty wild. And one thing we always try I always get on the bus. When we fly into a city, and I get on the mic on the bus on the way to the hotel, and my name is DJ T-Nuts. And I sit on the mic and just observe. I just talk about everything, and some guys might be asleep, but I just talk about everything. And one thing I told them, the first flight was that we win and we celebrate. Every win that we have this year, we're going to have victory. You don't get a trophy for losing. You get a trophy for winning. Enjoy it. Celebrate small victories. Celebrate winning. And that's what we kind of got into. And so every time we won, we celebrated. And I would get fans, and I'm walking around the city, and fans were like, wow, we have a dance party every time you guys win as well. So the lady showed me a picture of her home one time, and they got the laser lights, the smoke machine, everything that they thought we had. And when they win, the whole family just and they would dance with us. And man, that was special, to bring winning ways not only to the clubhouse, but just to this organization, to the Twins community.
Phil, right here.
Phil Miller, the Strib. Paul, you're losing a guy with 20-some homers and one of your RBI leaders. How big a setback is this for 2016, and how do you replace Torii on and off the field?
Well, it's special for me to be here today, Torii, and being a part of this. Known you a long time. You made this year special for me. Little conversations you and I and Eddie would have in the office along the way.
Some were crazy.
Yeah, but we even talk a little baseball now and then too. But,
yeah.
Where are you going on vacation, by the way? I was just wondering.
Oh no, I'm figuring it out right now.
All right. I don't think Terry or myself or the Polad family or anybody expects us to replace Torii. There's a uniqueness there about what he brings. Last year when he came in, Terry talked about dance party. So we we talked about some of the the needs of our team, corner outfielder, right-hand hitter, power veteran, and obviously Torii was a guy who fit all those things. But, and we're going to have people that are going to go out there and play. But replacing the intangibles, Torii talked a lot about sharpening. Men, as one man sharpens another. He did a lot of the sharpening. He got some back along the way, but that's going to be tough. Some of the things that he talked about that our team did, the things that were small that contributed to winning, the emotion they played with, it was a direct effect of what Torii brought here last year. There's no two ways about it. I got a chance to manage, got a new coaching staff, we had some new people, some young players, but Torii's contributions were monumental, and I don't think you can measure it. There's no way to, make it tangible. It's just going to be something that hopefully guys have learned some of those things. Yeah. And you perpetuate some of those things. People will step up and hopefully be guys that pass that on down the road. But they have to have it passed to them first. And those are some of the things that we'll miss. And we'll just try to figure it out the best we can and be grateful that what we received out of him coming back to play his last season for us, and then we'll try to play it forward.
Pat.
Yeah, Pat Borzi with MinPost.com. For either Torii or Terry, have you guys talked even informally about a role for Torii in the organization when he's ready to do something?
You want me to tell you? Pat, we've talked over this situation and the scenario on exactly where the future is going to lead for Torii in the game, and we've talked about various things. on the field, off the field, and his interests and so forth. I think he's going to take some time away and relax and enjoy his family. And then when the time comes, we'll probably pick that conversation up again. But there's various opportunities this young man, even at 40, he would be a young man in a front office that he could fill many needs. So it's going to be pretty much timing more than anything.
I'm having dinner with Jim Pohlad tonight. Make him pay. So we'll have a good conversation.
Mike.
Torii, Mike Berardino, Pioneer Press. The Royals were one of those teams that tried to get you last offseason. They just won a championship. Were you able to watch them win the championship? Did you see any of the parade? And what kind of things went through your mind there?
It's a good question. I'm not going to call him a prick. Just let you know. We're past that. We're friends now. Mike, man, I definitely sat at home, and my wife and I, we would watch the game, and we watched the Royals, and they're playing, and you know, you do. I'm human. You kind of like, oh man, they were winning the World Series, but you know, we're all brainwashed to win the World Series, you know, and you have a lot of players in the game that played the game, that's in the game, that hadn't had a chance to play in the playoffs. And I had 8 chances. And I'm thankful just to have those chances to even get a chance to go to the playoffs and go to the postseason 8 times. Of course, I'm not the ones that won the World Series. And that's what we're all brainwashed to do, is win a World Series, a championship. And me going out without a championship, yeah, that's tough. But, you know, I think that in the end, I've had some success, and I've been a champion by just learning so much in this game and giving it back to those guys. So when I see guys that I've imparted in, and I'm still going to watch them, and they win, I'm happy. You know, and I'm always going to see somebody that I've imparted in and I've helped, like the Mike Trouts. He still has chances. Nick Castellano, they still have chances. Morneau, Maurer still have chances. And so when they win, I win. And so it might not have been in God's plan for me. It might be something else that he wants me to do. And I'm pretty sure it was to be in that clubhouse and give it all I got. You know, minister to those guys and give it and be fruitful, and everything that I went through in my life, you know, outside of baseball. One day you guys will find that out. But just going what I've learned growing up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and going on through the minor league system, you know, marriage, finances. Whatever it may be, all those things played a part, and I was able to learn all those things and give it back to those guys in the clubhouse. So God had a different plan for me, and so I'm excited where I am. I don't think about what I don't have too much. I think about what I do have. I'm thankful.
We're going to do one last question. Charlie?
Torii, just a couple quickies. Does broadcasting nationally or locally interest you, and have you had some opportunities already? And secondly, the upside of this ball club that you just finished playing with?
Yeah, definitely been a sports analyst. It's definitely been something that I've thought about. You know, I've had contact with several networks, but it's just something that I'm going to think about. You know, like I said, you know, God has closed doors. You know, closed this door, this chapter in my life, and He's opened up others. You know, I'm just sitting at the door thinking about it. Should I walk through it? And so I'm gonna, you know, think about a lot of things, you know, the next couple months, and I'll make my decision soon. You know, I don't want to sit out too long. I want to get right back in it. You know, like I said, I'm transitioning. I'm retiring from the field, but I really want. I'm a baseball guy, man. That's all I know. I want to be in it, and Coaching, though, I don't know about traveling right now. It's tough. What do you think, Molly? I should take some time off?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking.
Transition is good.
Transition is good. I'm gonna relax, take some time off. You know, hopefully be with my man Terry, and we'll see what happens. But with the team this year, you look at Miguel Sano, Rosario, Hicks has come along, Byron Buxton. Peffrey stepped up. He did some great things for us as well. Gibson. The future is bright. That's all I have to say. It's bright. And these guys got a taste of winning early. And they had a chance to enjoy this season. Our rookie year, TK, all 12 guys, I don't think we had the year these rookies had. You know, we had to fight, scratch, claw, you know, do everything we had to do. And but these guys had a taste of playoff, a playoff atmosphere, and a chance to get in there. And so I definitely think next year they're just going to be better than they were last year, you know. And so the future is bright. Trust me.
With that, I want to thank Torii and Katrina Hunter. Thanks again, Torii.
Yep. Hey, I also want to thank the media. You know, thank you guys for, you know, for all you do. I tried to be there for you. You know, I learned a lot from you guys. You know, whether it was the good times and the bad times, the stuff that was put out of context, or whatever it may be. I've learned from that though, and it made me better. And so I just want to thank you guys for always being there and helping me as well. You know, I have a lot of friends that I made as far as in the media, Lavelle and Jim Suhan and Sid Harmon and, you know, all you guys, Charlie Walters. You know, so I just want to say thank you guys for always being there and having my back and protecting me and telling me. Some guys be like, "You sure you want to say that?" You know, and all you guys who did that, thank you. You helped me, and so I have to give you guys props when it's due. Thank you.